Hello, my dear students. This is the third module of the chapter Journey to the End of the Earth. We were discussing about our author's journey to Antarctica in the last two modules. Now, in this module, we're coming to an end of this chapter. Let's see what you will learn by the end of this session. You will be able to know more about Students on Ice program, and you will inculcate a sense of idealism to save the world. Now let's move on to the lesson. Students on Ice, the program I was working with on the Shokalski aims to do exactly this by taking high school students to the ends of the world and providing them with inspiring educational opportunities which will help them foster a new understanding and respect for our planet. It's been in operation for 6 years now, headed by Canadian Geoff Green, who got tired of carting celebrities and retired rich curiosity seekers who could only give back in a limited way. With Students on Ice, he offers the future generation of policymakers a life-changing experience at an age when they are ready to absorb, learn, and most importantly, act. The reason the program has been so successful is because it's impossible to go anywhere near the South Pole and not be affected by it. It's easy to blaze about polar ice caps melting while sitting in the comfort zone of our respective latitude and longitude. But when you can visibly see glaciers retreating and ice shelves collapsing, you begin to realize that the threat of global warming is very real. So, in this paragraph, our author is traveling to Antarctica. She says that she is traveling to Antarctica with a program called Students on Ice, which aims at analyzing Earth's past, present, and future and taking measures to save the Earth. Students on Ice program was led by a Canadian, Geoff Green. He used to take celebrities and retired rich curiosity seekers earlier, but he dropped it because they did not act upon in the vigor he desired. So he decided to do it with high school students because they are at an age which has the readiness to learn, absorb, and most importantly, act upon. They are in a proactive age. The program was so successful because it was impossible for a person to ignore the threat of nature, to ignore the threat the nature is facing when we go near the South Pole because we witness it with our bare eyes. It's easy for us to ignore all this in the comfort zones of our homeland. But when we watch it in real, the glaciers retreating and the ice shelves collapsing, we understand the intensity of the threat. Antarctica, because of her simple ecosystem and lack of biodiversity, is the perfect place to study how little changes in the environment can have big repercussions. Take the microscopic phytoplankton, those grasses of the sea that nourish and sustain the entire Southern Ocean's food chain. These single-celled plants use the sun's energy to assimilate carbon and synthesize organic compounds in that wondrous and most important of processes called photosynthesis. Scientists warn that a further depletion in the ozone layer will affect the activities of phytoplankton, which in turn will affect the lives of all the marine animals and birds of the region and the global carbon cycle. In the parable of phytoplankton, there is a great metaphor for existence. Take care of the small things and the big things will fall into place. In this paragraph, the author explains on how a small change can have a great consequence with the example of the single-celled plant phytoplankton. When this microorganism is affected by the depletion of ozone layer, the whole marine life will be affected. So the author says that if we take care of the base level, the big things will automatically fall in place. Next, we are moving on to the walk on the ocean. My Antarctic experience was full of epiphanies, but the best occurred just short of the Antarctic Circle at 65.55 degrees south. The Shokatski had managed to wedge herself into a thick white stretch of ice between the peninsula and the tadpole island, which was preventing us from going any further. The captain decided we were going to turn around and head back north. But before we did, we were all instructed to climb down the gangplank and walk on the ocean. So there we were, all 52 of us, kitted out in Gore-Tex and glares, walking on a stark whiteness that seemed to spread out forever. Underneath our feet was a meter thick ice pack, and underneath that 180 meters of living, breathing salt water. In the periphery, crab-eater seals were stretching and sunning themselves on ice floes, much like stray dogs will do under the shade of a banyan tree. It was nothing short of a revelation. Everything does indeed connect. 9 time zones, 6 checkpoints, 3 bodies of water, and many ecospheres later, I was still wondering about the balance in play on our planet. How would it be if Antarctica were to become the warm place that it once used to be? Will we be around to see it? Or would we have gone the way of the dinosaurs, mammoths, and woolly rhinos? Who's to say? But after spending 2 weeks with a bunch of teenagers who still have the idealism to save the world, all I can say is that a lot can happen in a million years, but what a difference a day makes. Our author's experience of the journey was full of revelations. She was learning new things. When their ship got stuck in a place, they were instructed to take a walk on the ocean, on the surface of the ocean. They were walking on 1 meter thick ice pack, and below that was 180 meters of living, breathing seawater. Many animals, fishes, and all other organisms were living under that. She says she saw seals warming themselves in sun just like stray dogs under the banyan tree. She wondered, she's wondered by the beauty of the balance of nature. She's wondering if we would ever go back to the earth as it was million years ago, or will we become memories like dinosaurs, mammoths, and woolly rhinos? We don't know. She's just wondering. After spending 2 weeks with a bunch of proactive teenagers, she says that she feels that a million years can bring a lot of change, but each day contributes a lot to it. This is a short summary of these paragraphs. Our author was on a trip to Antarctica with a program called Students on Ice. It was led by a Canadian, Geoff Green. He was tired of taking celebrities and retired rich curiosity seekers because they did not act upon. Students are the future policy makers and they are ready to absorb, learn, and act upon. It's easy to understand how small changes can create great consequence from Antarctica. If we take care of small things, the big things will fall into place automatically. After seeing Antarctica, our author is wondering about the beauty of balance of the nature. Author says that a lot can happen in a million years, but each day can contribute a lot to it. Now these are the self-check questions. Try answering them. First question is, students on ice, the program I was working with on Shokatski aims to do exactly this. What does the author mean by the word this? Why does Geoff Green decide to select students for this program? Third question, why does the author say, take care of small things and the big things will fall into place? Fourth one, why did the captain decide to turn back the ship? Now these are the new words learned. Carting, which means to carry somewhere or someone with difficulty. Blaze, indifferent to something because of over familiarity. Repercussions, an unintended consequence of an action, especially an unwelcome one. Parable, a story with a moral. Epiphanies, the act of making people aware of something that has been a secret. Wedge, force into a narrow place. Kitted out, provide someone with appropriate equipment. Gore-Tex, a synthetic fabric. Stark, a severe or bare in appearance. Periphery, the outer limits or edge of an area. These are the meanings of some of the words that we came across. These pictures describe the meanings. Now, write down the answers for the questions given in your textbook and also collect more information on Students on Ice program and also visit the website www.studentsonice.com. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Bye.